Javeria Azhar Sayed has asked this to Suzanne. And the question is, let's suppose that you leave Turkey for master's and you decide to come back a year or two later. And then if you apply for the citizenship, would they count those 2 years from your bachelor's, or would they start counting the number of years spent in Turkey from scratch? So Suzanne, if you can answer this and help Javeria, it would be amazing.
Yeah, so basically you will start from scratch. Even if you graduated and then you switch your, even if you switched your resident permit to tourist, even imagine, and you went to work permit, they will still start from scratch. So yes, leaving the country will 100%, you will start from scratch.
Thank you.
So guys, anyone else have any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, go on, Zema.
So I believe Mohammed Zishan had his major from mathematics, right? So I wanted to ask about the correlation of GPA into the jobs.
Well, honestly, GPA doesn't matter that much. Like for instance, like right away, some employers might see your GPA, but on a general basis, it does not matter. You can have a 2.5, a 2.0, and a 3.5, but you're gonna land the same job. So it's all about how you communicate once you get to the interview, what your skill sets are, what are your experiences. That's what matters the most, not your GPA. And honestly, not just from mathematics, it goes to all the students. Don't worry so much about your GPA.
I agree with Zishan. It's really nice, and I think it's important to have a good GPA. But in my personal experience, to this day, I decided not to put my GPA in my resume. So to this day, nobody in my company ever asked me for my GPA. But my situation is different because I did my internship there, so they knew how I work. But I would say that too. That don't worry about it too much, but still don't stop working hard.
I just want to add something. Of course, it matters if you're a high honor or an honor, but what exactly your GPA is doesn't matter. If you're, as long as you're an honor, stay honor. High honor, stay high honor.
And if you're not honored, it's okay too. Don't stress too much.
All right, Daud, we feel you're speaking from your heart right now. Does anyone else have any other questions? Because I also have a question. Suzanne, this question is for you more specifically. You mentioned that you've like diverged into the UI and UX field, and you did mention the importance of a portfolio. So in your opinion, like in a portfolio, how many like app designs or just like a design UI elements should be there? Like how many projects should one have in their portfolio before they start applying for like jobs or internships?
First of all, even if you don't have portfolio, apply. You don't know when you're gonna get lucky. Apply even if you don't have portfolio, okay? And some companies specify, I want to see in your portfolio a mobile app that is similar to ours. Let's say it's a food app, okay? So some companies you're applying to, they already specify, I want to see this kind of project in your portfolio. But usually they just need like 1 to 2 examples just to see what it is. Even some people have 10 and they say put only your top 3, let's say, okay?
All right, thank you.
I also have a question. What's the advantage of being a Bilkent graduate in the job market? Like, is there any advantage?
Yes, there's a big advantage in Turkey for being Bilkent graduate. It helps a lot. So the reputation of the university is already like all over Turkey, and you would be one of the top picks because of your university.
And Suzanne, there's another question for you. There are 2 questions. One is actually, can you please share your contact details as well, like Dawood and Zishan did, so that people can get in touch with you later on, if need be, maybe your LinkedIn profile or your email address. And other than this, Fahad Wasim has asked you that you mentioned that you work freelance and described it as an important experience. Could you please give a bit of detail of how you started and got into like freelance graphic designing in the first place, and how the experience was overall?
To be honest, what I started doing, I started a page on Instagram. I was so bored in quarantine. I started just asking my friends for the pictures. I started editing them, on Photoshop. And then some of my friends, like, they saw it, and I already did the logo for Society of Environment and Sustainability in Bilkent. The logo, I already designed it. So some people already know me, like, from the designs I made, some of my friends. But for freelancing, my sister actually started her own company, and she wanted someone to do her logo, to do her Instagram page, to do a lot of stuff. And from that, my friends started contacting me. I still personally did not put my portfolio. I did put my portfolio online, but I didn't apply for freelance jobs. People started contacting me. Other people might just need to go and apply for freelance jobs, And putting your portfolio online, that will also help other people reach you.
We have another question. This is directed to everyone. This is from Manur Aizad. Did any of you consider working somewhere else besides Turkey? And does a degree from Bilkent have any worth outside of Turkey, in your opinion? All of you can chime in if you want.
In my experience, I've seen people getting jobs right after Bilkent outside of Turkey if you apply. Again, it's a huge market out there. Obviously, the competition is going to be higher. And already, if you have an advantage of Bilkent in Turkey, you tend to apply for jobs here. But yeah, you can apply. You can get a job over there. But in my suggestion, what my opinion on this is, like, it's better to get a job here since you have that Bilkent advantage, gain some experience, and once you have that experience, then you can apply elsewhere. So yeah, that's what I think is the part, like the best part to go down if you want to work outside Turkey. Maybe the other Suzanne will have a different opinion on that, but yeah, that's my experience with it.
I would add something. Uh, it obviously it would be a nice thing to consider other places, but the problem arises when we realize we don't have that passport. So in my case, with a Pakistani passport, any other country that I go to, they would have to sponsor me, and that is when you get a rejection, especially as a fresh graduate, because even you would understand why they wouldn't invest so much money and effort into hiring a fresh graduate they don't know anything about. So Turkey is a little easier in that sense because we have our degree from here, but for other countries it's very hard to get an acceptance because we don't have the authorization to work there.
Thank you, Dawood and Zishan. The next question is also just generally directed to each and every one of you. It's from Monkey Seher. She says, hi, how helpful did you guys find the Career Center at Bilkent with regards to job hunting and internships, both in Turkey and abroad? So if any of you used the Career Center, then you can chime in if you guys did
Well,
not mention.
Career Center is always improving year by year. I believe so. Well, by the time, like, when I graduated, it had started to improve, but I'd say it wasn't that helpful for me. I'm not sure about you guys. You have had a different experience with Career Center, but yeah, if the year before me it was really bad. Like, people weren't even being like talked to if they did not know Turkish, if they were not a Turkish citizen. Because I remember one of my friends who graduated a year before me. He went to the Career Center and like companies were just turning him down right on the spot because he did not know Turkish. But now, yeah, there are more opportunities now, and the Career Center must have improved. So, Dal Suzanne, again, uh, you have like a better understanding about how is it now and how is it any better than it was before.
I personally don't have any experience with the Career Center, but I would say you can give it a try, but don't rely on them too much. At the end of the day, it's your own job search, so go all in yourself. Uh, it's better to have other options, but don't rely on them too much.
I also haven't really tried the Career Center. I have no idea.
All right, thank you guys for your. We have a question from Rida for everyone as well. I have a question. What do you think about applying for a job that is not in your field? Would it harm any of the skills that you have already learned? I think, Suzanne, you can answer this the most. And Zishan?
No, even I would say there was a small quote on my slideshow that better an oops than a what if. So there's nothing, no harm in applying. Just apply. If you get the job, you can consider it later. Just apply, and if you like it, obviously you're gonna give your all. So just apply.
Well, to be honest with you around that, if you plan to go back to your field, like what you learned, obviously it's going to have some sort of disadvantage because you don't have the experience you could have had in your field if you're working in any other field. That's going to happen, but uh, it's like it's not that bad. You get your first job just for the sake of a job, and then after 2 years, 3 years, you plan to switch. You're going to be working for the next 20, 30 years of your life. So those 2 years won't matter that much. Eventually, they will. You will not get the experience that's required, but in the long run, it will not matter. So then I believe you also want to add to that something.
Okay, so again, as I mentioned, there are very different sectors, even in your field. And if you enter one and switch to the other, the experience will not count. So if you want to go somewhere far in your career, make sure that you use these years wisely because the more experience you have, the better job and the better salary you will get. Of course, I am freelancing graphic design, let's say. I'm earning money. It is good. If, you don't need a full-time job in some other field than yourself. Try freelancing if you can in the other field. And if you don't mind just, like going different fields, it's fine. But personally, I want to grow fast as much as I can. So I don't want to waste any time and just get exactly where I want to be.
I will add something. If studying for something for 4 years and you're already thinking about switching, then it's very unlikely that you would want to come back. So if you're thinking already, give it a try and one step at a time. We'll see what happens in the future. But if you're thinking of switching, you want to switch, give it a try, I would say.
All right, thank you guys. We have a question from Heather Rahim. When should we do the internships? Should it be after second year and third year, or should it be after third year and after fourth year? How much do they matter in scoring jobs? Do research-based internships help in scoring industrial jobs? Okay, that's more than one question, but it's also in the chat if you guys want to read it yourselves. And whoever can end this, can answer this is more than welcome to.
Okay, I want to answer this first. When I was in interior design, everyone wanted experience. It was so hard to get a job. I had to contact the job that was already offered to me to get the job. Everyone expected you, like they don't want you fresh grad because you don't have experience. So basically, the only solution that could be is starting the internship for like 6 months, 1 year, and then going to a job and say, I already have experience because no one wanted fresh grads. Right now, I think the situation changed because a lot of new job offers opened. But try to use all your time wisely. Do internship anytime you are free, but make sure that some companies they do everything legally, that they need to provide you work permit and everything, so they wouldn't just offer an internship for an international because it's a headache for them. So make sure like the company you're applying to like meets like international requirements. I got my internship without work permit, for example. Just know like there's some requirements for jobs that they don't want to get into all this legal procedure, but use your time wisely. Try everything in internship.
Thank you, Suzanne. Does anyone else have any other questions? We have time for a couple of more questions. If you guys have any, and now is the time because we're like kind of running on borrowed time now. We've extended the time limit a bit.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so this is for Suzanne. Suzanne, since you've had an experience in the construction field, do you think that Turkey is the best place to settle for someone with a design degree? Like, do you think that architects and interior architects are in high demand here?
No, not really. There is no high demand anywhere in the world. My dad is working actually in Dubai. In Dubai now, I got offered actually interior design job, and they pay way better than Turkey. Shocking, yes, of course, Dubai. But I didn't take it because I didn't want life there. Okay, so I think connections is the strongest suit that anyone has. So, for example, if you're from that country and you have connections there, just go there and you will find a better job. Uh, Turkey has a lot of jobs now, but again, interior design was just like not that good in Turkey. I couldn't get a lot of offers. I couldn't get where I actually wanted to be, and actually I realized I didn't even want that job anyways.
Okay, and one other question. I know you mentioned a few sectors like construction and furniture design, but would you say that there is one specific sector that has more scope than the others?
No, I don't think so. Like they're all the same actually. Like maybe in furniture it was a bit more interesting for me because you get to design at some point. In large scale projects and small scale projects like big companies, you don't design. You just either do the 3D modeling or you do the AutoCAD or you do the construction. Construction was also a bit interesting for me because you get out of the office. You don't just sit on the computer all day. So I got into there. I was like, okay, I can go, I can do some stuff, you know. But I think they're all the same as long as you really know what you want to do. Like I didn't want to sit in an office and just on AutoCAD, for example.
Okay, thank you. One last question, sorry. Do you ever feel like when you went from Ankara to Istanbul, did you feel like there was because Istanbul is more culturally diverse, do you think that people there speak more English? So for international, if an international wants to settle in Turkey, Istanbul would be better than Ankara, or like people would be willing to hire internationals more in Istanbul than in Ankara?
For interior design industry, it is hard to hire international in general because the companies have just even the big name companies, they have just few workers, so they cannot afford international anyways. But of course, in Istanbul, they know Turkish more. In the office, everyone speaks English and Turkish. In Ankara, even the big names, they also spoke Turkish in the office and did not even know English because if you think about it, some of the Bilken grads, let's say, the Turkish people, they open an office in interior design office in Ankara, and they already know Turkish and they are in Turkey, so they don't really care if they hire people that know English. So your co-workers won't even know that much English according to Istanbul. So Istanbul is good because Istanbul also they can have international projects that requires even this will be advantage for you because you know really good English even.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I think that's all the time we have today for this for the questions. Thank you, Zishan, Daud, and Suzanne for joining us and giving this presentation and answering all of the queries people had. And thank you to all the participants who attended as well. If you still have not sent in your name to the GE list, please do so now, because if you don't, then you will miss out on your points. Other than this, thank you everyone for joining, and hope to see you guys in the next event. Zishan,